Welcome to the episode of the Geek Out Room podcast. Don't forget you can watch our episodes over on our Sauceless Entertainment YouTube channel, or you can tune in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. With that being said, let's talk about Devil May Cry Season 2. This will be a non-spoiler review. We will not be talking about spoilers, but watch out in the comment section below. So, Devil May Cry Season 2 came out sneakily this May. I just finished it. I binged it over about 2 days, and I have some thoughts about the season. First and foremost, I think that season 2 goes at a faster pace than season 1. I think they know what they want with the story, right? They know what they want to tell this season, and they've already done the work of season 1, which is build up these characters, build up the world, and so in season 2 they can just kind of put their foot on the gas and like get the ball rolling a lot faster than I believe in season 1. I'm not that harsh on season 1. I didn't know that many people were really harsh on Devil May Cry season 1. I thought season 1 was pretty enjoyable, pretty fun. There was a lot left to be desired, but I thought for a season 1 it warranted a season 2, and I felt like there was a lot to build off of season 1. And in season 2, I think they executed that very well. Um, One thing I think they executed really well on is that Dante felt more like a character this season. Season 1, you got all the highlights, flashy stuff, like it took the absurdities of, excuse me, they took the absurdities from the video game Dante and added to this character, which is fine. We do want that quirky, badass, cool Dante, but I feel like season 2, obviously they focus more on his trauma and Virgil and all that stuff. So they needed to that it was going to be a huge tonal shift, and I think they did that really well in season 2. I think they balanced that really well. I think they balanced the trauma that Dante constantly goes through while also keeping him lighthearted and also explaining kind of his psychological, like kind of explaining why he operates the way he does. And I do think that there's a couple other things I do not want to spoil throughout season 2 that I think continues to add to his character, and I'm glad they're going the route that I think they're going for this anime, this adaptation, versus the video game, because the video games are great, right? I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan. My brother was. I sneaked. I wasn't allowed to play rated M games at the time, but I sneaked and played the games. Um, and there's a lot that can be adapted from this and made your own, kind of similar to what Fallout does, right? For their story. I think Devil May Cry adaptations can really have fun and add a lot more with the lore guiding them, right? And I think that season 2 sets this anime up really well to adapt the stories from the game, but give it way more substance, make the characters feel way more three dimensional. And I think that they're heading that way with Dante. I think they're heading that way with Lady. And I also think they're heading that way with Virgil. Now, Virgil's always been a pretty decently fleshed out character in the games, don't get me wrong, but there is still a lot of room for Lady to be fleshed out in the video games. And I think that in the show, they're doing a great job continuing to build on Lady and continuing to give her own arc, especially throughout this season, her own personal arc that she's dealing with, while also making her integral to Dante and his story. So I think they did a pretty good job juggling that, and I hope they continue, especially in season 3, because I definitely want a season 3, y'all. This show is pretty enjoyable. Um, Another thing is I think Virgil was adapted pretty well. I think they nailed the whole angsty older brother routine. I think they made him pretty badass. He has a lot of great fight sequences in this season that make him a problem. Obviously, him and Dante have a battle. It is really, really, really well done in my opinion. Um, yeah, I just, especially for how fast this came out, I think that they had pretty good animation in the fights, right? And again, I think they allow character moments to breathe. I think one of my biggest knocks about season 1 is it felt way more like video game and music video, and didn't allow certain character moments and beats to really breathe and expand. I think in season two, we do get characters. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of jokes, a lot of like some montages and stuff, but not nearly as much as season one. I think they really spent season two saying, hey, this is a more serious story. And when you have more serious stories, you do need to let certain moments breathe. You need to let certain characters have actual dialogue, right? Let them have actual conversations. Let these characters show emotion, thus letting the actors build an act, right? Like letting the voiceover artists and voice actors do their thing. And there's a couple moments in this season where Dante really has to evoke, like Johnny Young Bosch does a really great job. I think way better. By the way, Johnny Young Bosch does I think a much better job in season two than season one. Um, I was not high on him being the voice of Dante, to be honest. I like it much. Maybe I got used to it, but I do think that his performance in season two, when he needed to be a little more nuanced, he was. When he needed to be outlandish, he was. When he had these intimate moments with Dante, I think he did a great job delivering lines, a great job evoking emotion, and it was just a stellar performance. I think season two he nailed it. I think he dialed it back a little bit and really got into this character and did what he needed to do for this season. So I think that was really good. But yeah, Virgil was adapted pretty well. Um, I think again because of the severity of some of the stuff this season, they need to let certain things breathe. I think they did. Um, is this season anything you haven't seen before in adaptations or in anime or cartoons? No, this is nothing crazy. If you play the video games, you kind of know the outcome of a lot of this stuff. A lot of the big hitters are up here, like I forgot the name of the clown. I'm gonna call him. Is it Jester or is it Joker? I forgot which one. Y'all gonna kill me, but tell me in the comment section below. I forgot if it's Jester or Joker, but he's in there. Mundus is in there. Virgil, obviously, Dante, Lady, all that stuff. Um, yeah, a very, very solid season. I think again improved a lot of season two improved a lot from season one. And I think that again, if you love Devil May Cry, the video game, I think this is a solid adaptation. I've seen a lot of people say it's not. I don't know what's gonna please people. I think this is a really good way to introduce people to Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is a Capcom product, which means yeah, we got like a bunch of Devil May Cry games, but it's not like it's in the forefront of what's going on the last like 5 years, right? So a lot of people's first introduction to Devil May Cry is going to be this anime, and I think that this is a pretty good anime. It's a pretty fun anime. It has 2 seasons right now, and it again, season two takes itself a little bit more seriously. Still keeps the jokes, still keeps the outlandishness, but they when they need to lock in, they lock in, and I think that is really great, and it makes me believe that they're continuing to find out like now where a lot of adaptations don't find out till it's too late or they never do is as an adaptation it doesn't need to be one for one. Okay, I wouldn't mind that, but there's certain games that are really old, so they don't really focus on storytelling as much as they should have or could have. Don't May Cry is one of those stories where they have pretty good lore, but you could really mold it into something even more special or something unique or something of your own. And I do think the studio is finding a way to do that. And I do think Netflix has something pretty special if they can continue going down certain paths. And when other characters get introduced, that we all know, I'm sure a lot of us are waiting for, when those characters do get introduced, because adaptation has done a pretty good job setting up in season one and two. I do think we can flesh out those characters more and have even more really complex monologues and dialogue between characters. I'm really excited. There's one character in particular that didn't show up this season that I bet's going to show up in season three and is going to make for a very, and I mean very interesting conversation between some characters. So comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on season 2. Do not spoil it, please, in the comments section below. Don't forget to keep geeking out. See you on the next one. Peace.